The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Invisible Influence Series. If you're ready to massively increase your sales by leveraging the power of subconscious persuasion, then make sure you text the word COMPEL to 411321. That's COMPEL to 411321. And if you're outside of the United States, then use WhatsApp and text the word COMPEL to 1-909-741-1321. Make sure you put in your best email address because that's how we'll deliver the goodies. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode.
All right, today is going to be a fascinating show. We try to make all the shows fascinating, but we have a very unusual, super talented guest. His name is Seth Grabel. Seth is a fantastic magician. I've seen him in action. And Seth, I just want to say parenthetically before we dive deeper into this, you always fool me. You can do your tricks, your illusions. Do you prefer to call them tricks, illusions? What do you prefer to call them?
There's different types of things. There's tricks or there's illusions.
Okay, well,
different. So a trick is something that you just do a quick trick that's kind of like this. This is a trick.
How are you doing that?
An illusion is usually it's a big box, something on stage, and it's this huge apparatus, if you will.
Correct. Well, I want to say you always fool me. Is there a correlation, before we go to the rest of your introduction, is there a correlation between intelligence and the ability to be fooled?
So to my understanding, some of the research that I've done is the more intelligent you are, the more easily you are fooled. Because everyone has a different mindset and a different way they communicate the world. And smart people usually are very methodical, you know. And the methods that they think, you know, A plus B equals C, you know, us illusionists, us magicians, we take out the B. So you don't even know the B.
So you sort of interrupt their pattern of expectation. Yeah,
kind of like, you know, any kind of medium that you ingest, like coffee, it interrupts your pattern. Another drug, any kind of drug that you take, it interrupts your pattern.
I think there's a good intersection there between what I teach in sales and using pattern interrupts to overcome objections and create suggestibility. But let me continue with the introduction. You are also something of a real estate magnate, buying real estate. Can you tell us just a little bit more about that?
Well, we buy real estate. So our focus here has been in Las Vegas, and we buy value-added property. We look for kind of interesting deals to purchase. And I also broker deals. So I find different pieces of land, mostly commercial, all commercial, really.
Right.
Commercial land or retail shopping centers for.
All right. So let's dive into this. First, we're going to get into magic, because it fascinates me. I'm sure everyone out there is fascinated by magic. And then I want to get into how you use magic and the principles of magic to, I know when you're getting a good deal, you have to do some negotiating there, how you apply any of the.
It's all magic. It's all magic. All right. To get the deal done is magic.
All right. So let's talk about, I know this is something of a trite question, but we'll move from trite to significant. Oh, I should reveal a very important fact. The most wonderful thing about Seth is he is my nephew.
That's true. It is probably the best thing about us.
So first, instead of how did you get started, which is a lame-ass question, I try to teach my students and fans and whatever to ask different questions to access a different part of the mind. So not how did you get started, which is a bullshit question, but how did you first discover you had a passion for magic?
Good question. I first discovered that I had a passion with magic simply because I was in this studio apartment in San Luis Obispo, and I was bored out of my mind at college. I just didn't enjoy college. And so I figured if I could kind of play with magic and do something to get a reaction, that made my day. So I would literally go out to random people, totally random people, and I would do a trick, do an illusion, and it would make their day. And so that fed my energy. Their reactions, typically. You know, I would walk around Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Oh.
So it's a beautiful campus. If you've been there,
I have.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
I dated one of the professors.
Me too.
Oh boy, probably the same professor.
I don't know. That would be crazy. But
that'd be crazy.
And there, as I would walk, there was a rose garden, and so I would usually kind of hang out in the rose garden, and random people would come, usually females, and I would grab a rose behind their ears. I usually go, "Hey, what's that?" And they go, "What?" And I would just grab a rose right out of thin air and give it to them, and then I would walk away.
That's an interesting principle, because you create some attention and then you pull the attention away, which I think that would make people, in my understanding of sales and psychology of creating interest and desire, that makes it more desirable. That makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it gives them something to think about. It gives them an interest to kind of dwell on, and then I'm gone. Or, you know, for example, relating that to real estate, you throw out a net, cast out, kind of send people some deals, and then you disappear for a week. And sometimes they're all into it. I mean, I'm dealing with one right now. I want to buy a restaurant. I put an offer for 1.5 million, and the guy disappeared on me. And I'm going, what happened? What happened? I want that deal, and he's gone. And now he comes back at 1.6. So he's using that on me, and I see it, but you know, I just stepped back for a minute, and I'm giving him his time.
It's a very powerful principle if you think about it, and I want to get your feedback on this, is setting the frame. You're setting the frame because you're not desperate for the deal, that you're the one who has the value, and therefore they have to pursue you. Would you is that sort of what you're getting at?
I mean, that is a lot of times a great position to be in, not always the position you can be in. It's great. That's 100% right. But, you know, it's nice to be able to be in that position if you can.
Cool. Let's go back. I'm not going to ask you how you do tricks, because you're going to say I did them very well.
Or I'll say, can you keep a secret?
So
can I.
All right. So as you develop this interest in magic, at some point you had to make was it a courageous choice to say, this is going to be my livelihood? I'll tell you why I say this. It's very competitive, but especially in Las Vegas, where you have people, well, you no longer have Siegfried and Roy. Which one got his throat torn out? One of them.
Roy got mauled by a tiger.
Right.
His very favorite tiger, Sasha. Yeah. And then the other one passed away. So they're both gone. Siegfried and Roy are gone. But
you have big names, David Copperfield. My favorites are Penn and Teller.
Yeah, they've done it, and they, you know, it's funny. I look at those guys. I was on the Penn and Teller show, Fool Us.
I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, it was a fun experience, and I've done a lot of different experiences, a lot of different TV. It's been a blast. I got to perform on Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. That was phenomenal. Oh my God.
That. What was that like?
Yeah. That was really cool. You know, at first, because I thought Gordon, you know, you look at his show, he's a kind of, he's not nice to a lot of the chefs, but he was the exact opposite to me. I mean, and that's the TV side of him. In reality, it's just the TV side to create the drama, but in reality, he is the nicest, most genuine guy I've ever met, really. And so I made a burger appear for Gordon.
Wow. Like,
yeah, it was cool.
An edible burger or a prop burger?
No. It was edible, totally edible. He didn't take a bite, but he could have if he wanted to. I wanted to take a bite. It looked really good. I should have taken a bite. I don't know why I didn't take a bite. But you know what's funny with that deal? So I went in at about 8 a.m. and they told me, okay, we're going to do a dress rehearsal. So I said, okay, great. We're going to do a dress rehearsal. I was on stage with him. I walked out these things, the doors at Hell's Kitchen, and I did the dress rehearsal. And after the dress rehearsal, it literally took 20 minutes. They were like, okay, we're done. Good job. So they used the dress rehearsal as the actual cut.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going, wait a minute, I want to do it again because I could do it better. But they said it was fine. It worked perfectly, and we moved forward.
How much I see you, I don't know if this matches your own view. You're a relentlessly and restlessly creative person. Whatever, you don't rest, as my late great mom used to say, don't rest on your laurels. Where did you get this thing? First of all, is my understanding correct that you're always looking for the next creative thing and to top yourself? Is that correct?
Yeah, always. I'm always trying to compete with myself and do the next best thing. And throughout my whole career, I've pretty much only done what I wanted to do. Whether it's good or bad or indifferent, I just decide, okay, I want to do this, and I do it. For example, on Penn and Teller Fool Us, I wanted to get eaten by a huge 40-foot giant transformer that crushes cars, right? And he do Fire too. That's why it's the flaming transformer. But I just wanted to do it, and I got rejected to do it at NASCAR. I got rejected to do it a couple other things that just didn't want it, didn't do it. And then finally, Penn and Teller, the producer Penn and Teller, was like, yeah, we like it. We'll do it with you. And so it took about 2 years actually to get someone convinced to do it.
Whoa. That's a magic in and of itself, because that kind of persistence and consistency is something that anyone who wants to develop their skills and sales and influence has to have. So let's back up and talk about that. So it took 2 years, you say?
It took 2 years to convince someone to do it. It took another 6 months to actually build the thing.
Excuse me a minute. Sorry. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's go through that process. First and foremost, when you had there's two types of vision. There's the vision of creating the trick and what it would look like, but then there's the vision of, I'm going to get this done. Someone's going to get me on the show. How did you match your vision with the persistence to do it? Because there's where vision and sales match. I'm sure, I don't want to downplay the illusion. I saw it. It was spectacular.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was scary. I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I know Seth lived through it because I talked to you subsequently to that. So I knew you lived.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, actually, things went wrong that no one knows about that I could have actually really died. It really? Wasn't, I won't do that one again. Actually, that was very, it was played incorrectly, and, no one knows behind the scenes what happens. It just looks good on camera. But a piece of the car actually fell very close where I was. It fell to a very close area where I was, and it could have really hurt me. But anyway, so persistence is pretty much my golden rule. If I want something, persistence is the only way to get it. I say persistence, and I coined a phrase, and I think actually me and you talked about this. Originally, I created a bulldog persistence, and then you and me, you said, hey, pitbull persistence.
Yes.
Yeah, and so pitbull persistence is latching onto an idea and just holding on no matter what it is. If you want that thing, you got to get it. You got to figure out how to do it. You wake up, you think, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? I'm going to do it.
Whoa, let's slow down. Because I want to get the structure of how you do this. I'm sure the audience would like to know how you do it. You said you wake up in the morning, and what do? You visualize doing it, and then you say something to yourself?
It's a lot of manifestation.
Talk about that. Talk about that.
First, I got to come up with the concept. So it's, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to get eaten alive by a 40-foot transformer.
By the way, what did your wife, when you tell your wife about your illusions and what you want to do? So what did she say?
At first, she was like, Seth, that's not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. Don't do it. But she's so supportive.
I know, and she's wonderfully powerful. I love Tammy. She's a fantastic woman. You got lucky there, dude.
I'm so lucky. Yeah, she's like she's my behind the scenes powerhouse that just cheers me on and says, "Go get it." And I'm so blessed.
All right, I gotta. We'll get back to the question, but I always, when someone brings that up, do you think you could be as successful as you are without such an amazing, supportive spouse?
No, not at all. A spouse that is supportive makes your drive, to another level. It changes your mindset also. As a man, I'm always, you're driven. Most men are driven by women. They're looking for a woman. And if you don't have that woman, you're still looking. And that takes up a tremendous amount of time in your brain.
It does indeed.
And so
ladies, listen to this man. He's wise.
Well, I don't have that time. I've X'd that time out. I've actually cut that time away because I got married, and I've consciously cut it out because of that. So I have a contract in my mind and with my wife that, hey, I don't need that anymore. And so that's it. I don't use that time. And instead of using that time for looking for a female counterpart, I already got that done. And now I'm just focused on other things that I have to do.
I love that idea. Contract. You have a contract. That's fantastic. You had said to me, Uncle, getting married is a shift in the mindset, but now you're unpacking that for me. So let's get back to how you manifest and set those goals. So you wake up in the morning. Is that the first thing you do before your feet hit the floor, or do you have a morning ritual where you do this?
Well, the first thing that I do is I write it all out. I write the whole...
Every morning?
No, just once. I write the whole concept out and put together pictures and imagery and kind of create a package, if you will. So in that package could be, 1 page, it could be 20 pages. It depends on what makes sense for that thing. Usually it's longer when it's detailed out. And then after I do that, if I really want the goal, if I want to achieve this goal, every single morning, I create a mantra. So for example, that mantra was, if I remember, it was a little while ago. So it was, hey, I'm going to be on TV, and it's going to happen with a huge stunt. I'm going to create this huge stunt, and it's going to be a phenomenal, mind-blowing stunt that people can talk about. That is it was similar to back in the day, old Copperfield, just huge, crazy stuff. And so I created this thought process. Every single morning I would wake up going, how am I going to do this stunt? How am I going to do this stunt? What am I going to do it? And I just put one step forward to getting that and achieving that.
Right. So you get up in the morning, you repeat this phrase to yourself over and over and over. It is a mantra that you do. Mm-hmm. And then you keep track of your progress.
Well, there's baby steps. So every day I would basically try to figure out ways to get more close to that goal. And whether it was calling people to see whether they want to do it, or it's connecting the dots and finding little pieces of the puzzle to add to the illusion. And I would literally scavenge. So I would have this concept of the illusion. I would find, oh, that's a great piece. That's a great, I found a refrigerator on the side of the road. And that was actually, it was a disgusting refrigerator, but that actually was a piece of the prop that we used.
Wow. Transforming garbage into your goal.
That's a good phrase, transforming garbage into your goal.
I know.
I mean, it was garbage. No one wanted this. It was on the side of the road. Me and my prop builder were driving, and he goes, that works. We could use that for one of the pieces of the illusion. We loaded it into my truck, and it was my warehouse for maybe a month until we started playing with it. But yeah, there was garbage into gold.
And I love that. I'm going to coin that, or you can coin it. We can both use it.
It's all you.
And then, so I think you do a really good job on selling yourself that you can get it done. That's the number one sale you make.
Right. And that's the number one sell. If you say it in your head and you repeat it enough in your head that you could get it done, this is a doable thing, you could do anything. But you have to say it to yourself first, because you're the first line of defense.
So you think persistence Do you get, and again, for those of you who are listening who are in sales or any kind of negotiation, you have to have the persistence. Is this something that you had a model for, like one of your parents or your siblings, or you just came up with it?
That's a good question. I just have a drive in myself that I have to prove to myself. And no one really has told me otherwise. Other than, so my mother, she gave me an analogy. She said, Seth, you have to make yourself, and I'm not, but she said, you have to make yourself feel in your mind that you're a Russian immigrant and you're hungry. Imagine coming off the boat and you got nothing.
Wow.
You literally have nothing. You have just the clothes on your back.
Right.
What do you do? And
Wow.
so I sometimes in my mind I say I got nothing, even though I have so much and I'm so blessed for everything I have.
Yeah.
But I in my mind I say I got nothing. If I had nothing, what would I do?
Wow, what a question. I hope you guys, you folks watching and or listening need to write that down. If I had nothing, what would I do? And this is absolutely brilliant. I think we both have the same heritage. Our grandparents came over from the old country. That's amazing.
A while ago, not like, we're I'm sixth generation probably,
Yeah, and so, I think I'm third.
Yeah. And so we do have something. However, if you could imagine, what if you imagine you just stepped off the boat, you had nothing, you came to this place of America and you go, what do I do? I gotta survive. I gotta do something. And so I don't rest on my laurels, just like your mom said.
No,
I don't.
You don't.
I don't. And I don't want to, because what's the point? If you rest on your laurels, you just, you don't, what do you accomplish? You are only, I look at myself, I am only as good as my last thing that I did.
Me too. Me too. And I think there's tremendous value in that. Mm-hmm. Because it keeps you moving forward. It fires up your creativity and your drive. On the other hand, if you don't manage it right, you lose out on the appreciation of what you've done. So do you have a ritual for appreciating your wins?
I don't. And sometimes I think I should sometimes, but I don't, because sometimes I win, but to me, it's not a win. And I know this sounds crazy, but it may be something people would go, oh, you did good. But I don't look at the wins. I usually just, what's the next thing? And I know that might be, you should really appreciate the wins. I guess my life is appreciating the wins. I have a beautiful life. I'm so blessed.
So do. Your family is so awesome.
I'm blessed. So I have everything I want. I go into work what I want. And I live such an amazing life that I do appreciate the moments that I get to spend with my family. And that's kind of something that I love. I took my little boy, I got a 4-year-old boy. We had a baseball game yesterday, and 6:00 at night, we went and played baseball with a bunch of friends, and it was really fun.
By the way, can your kid, do you do magic for your kids?
I have to start teaching them more magic. I don't, because I'm so, my focus right now has been a lot of development and real estate. And so all the magic that I've done, I have to figure out a way to consistently do some magic with my kids and teach them what I know. And play, playing is so important when you're inventing stuff. And it's literally, so when I was just solely focused on entertainment and magic, every day I would go, okay, here's a new trick. I'm going to, what? Oh, this hat. How do I make this hat?
Can you do one for us? Can you do one for us?
How do you make a hat look fun and cool, Yeah, I'll do one. So,
oh boy, I'm so easily fooled. I love it. I love wonder. And wonder opens wonder is a way to do I think what you do creates neuroplasticity. I think states of wonder actually create neuroplasticity. All right.
Yeah, wonder is really a lot of fun. And what wonder does for the human mind and soul, it just opens it up. It really does open it up. Here, try this. Now, it's a little tricky doing stuff when on the phone call, Zoom, because then usually I go, oh, pick a card. But you're just going to yell out a card for me. Any card you want. Or you can see one. Yell out.
Okay. Jack of diamonds.
Jack of diamonds. Okay. Check this out. The Jack of diamonds. Okay. There it is. Watch. Jack of diamonds.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is lose the jack of diamonds into the center of the deck about.
Right.
Watch.
Got it.
Now,
Can we all see your hands? You might want to raise it up so we can see your hands.
Watch this. Look. I'm going to do something called sleight of mouth. This is kind of crazy. Watch. This is sleight of mouth. Watch. Sleight of hand is a normal thing. This is sleight of mouth.
Yikes. Gross. No. Don't tell me. No way. No camera. No camera tricks here, ladies and gentlemen. That was the real deal. That's amazing. How did you
do that? Fun? You know, I'm going to start doing a show and some more magic at the Swirling Club coming up. Have you been in the Swirling Club?
No, I haven't. Tell me.
The Swirling Club is part of the Turnberry Estates here in Las Vegas, and it's a very high-end, really nice private club. And so next time you come to Vegas, I will take you there. And
I'm there to do an event in June. I'll tell you more about that off the air. I'll get you in as a guest.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait. Okay,
well, this would be a remarkable thing. Let's transition. And you've done a great job. I know you're a very busy man. I only want a few more minutes of your time. So at what point did you make that transition into real estate investing?
Well, I've always been interested in it. It's always been a passion. I love doing deals. In general, I love doing deals. And so I would, as being a magician, I would actually be a cold caller. This is how I got most of my work. I would call people up and say, hey, you need a magician, don't you? Or I would meet someone and randomly get a gig. So I'm really a salesman at heart. I love selling things. And I thought I was on stage one day and everyone was laughing here in Vegas. Everyone was laughing, having a great time. And I was on stage and I was going, wait a minute, you know what? I kind of just want to be home with my family right now. And that's kind of a shift in my mindset. And then I go, wait a minute, I could sell real estate for millions and millions of dollars. And magic, I could do the same exact movement and the same exact things that I am doing with magic.
What does that mean? You've got to unpack that for us.
So as a magician, I was doing sales. I mean, how do you get work? I didn't have a manager at the time. I've had managers in the past. They've done okay, but at the end of the day, it's all on me. So I created my opportunities rather than someone else create my opportunities. I would love to meet someone out there that does create opportunities, but you know, it's like a marriage, really. It's really like a marriage. So me making opportunities for magic, I go, wait, you know what? I could just make opportunities for something that's millions and millions of dollars, which is a solid product like real estate. And my family's also in the business. We purchase shopping centers and medical office buildings.
Nothing big, just little minor things.
Just like small stuff.
Small stuff.
Yeah, my father's kind of a guru of real estate.
We know this.
He's written a book called Wealth Creations. Actually, do I have it? I don't have it somewhere.
I know my brother-in-law, who fancies himself a real estate magnate, is in awe of your father. And my brother-in-law is in awe of no one but himself. So that speaks to how good your father is.
Yeah. I mean, he's a smartest guy I know, and he's done really well. And so I love real estate. I love doing deals. Really, I'm a deal junkie. I love to be able to put a package together and make everything work, which I got to tell you, that's just as much magic as performing magic. I mean,
In what sense, Seth?
Well, you have to. You're like a plate spinner, like this. Your plate spinner, or a juggler going. One plate starts. You got to go over there and spin that one. You got to go over there and spin that one. I mean, so doing a deal. For example, I've been working on a deal for 2 years. It just closed yesterday.
Talk about persistence.
If I want something, I won't give up. I will never give up until I die, and then I'll give up. But so. Yeah, for 2 years on this little 0.19 of an acre. That's the crazy part. So in Vegas, I'm assembling a whole big piece of land for a large development.
Can I interrupt you a second?
Yeah.
As your uncle, I'm so proud of you. I'm just freaking, look, we don't censor anything. We keep it real here. I'm so, and it's not a family show. I'm so fucking proud of you. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm blessed, you know, and I feel, I just do. My motto, I woke up and I go, I just have to do. I have to do. And I have that, it's because of that rush, that mentality. By the way, I'm not really Russian, but I have an immigrant mentality sometimes. And so
I've never heard that before. That is so absolutely unique. I've read so many books on mindset and manifestation, but I've never heard the immigrant mentality. That's, some people would say that's a poverty mentality. You're getting in your own way. No, that's brilliant. That one gold nugget is millions.
Well, think about the immigrants that come here that have nothing and build massive amounts of wealth. I know many that literally came here with nothing from all over the world, and they've built up massive amounts of wealth and done a lot of really good things. And so that's my mentality. That's the mentality that I'm really trying to press and push. And it's not easy. Sometimes I get lazy. I go, I'll have my latte, you know, I'll go and, you know, but I snap back and go, look, I mean, I gotta work. I love doing things and accomplishing goals. I guess that's my thing.
How do you, well, with so much drive, and so how do you, I guess the word is recreate. How do you give yourself some room for that creativity to bubble and boil in the background? Is there anything you do?
That's a good question. I mean, so I need to do more of that. I'm guilty of not doing enough of that right now because I'm focused on real estate and the magic is kind of slipping away. But now, so the way I do that is I get a job. So, for example,
job like flipping burgers or
no. I get a gig, magic gig, for example. Mm-hmm. So if I want to get more creative, I just make myself get work, and then I am forced to do that. So my very first magic show, I booked myself before I was ever on stage, ever did any magic. I booked myself for an hour magic show at Long Beach State.
What the bleepity bleep? And you had nothing?
Nothing.
How much time did you have between the booking and the actual doing?
3 months. I had 3 months.
Are you joking? An hour in 3 months?
Yeah.
Were you scared?
I was scared. I was nervous. I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay.
So instead of feel the fear and do it anyway, it's shit your pants and do it anyway.
Yes. It's like you have no choice. You just cut the lifeline and you're falling at 1,000,000 miles per hour and you got to figure this out. Do it or don't. It's your life. And so I'll tell you, the first show it didn't go according to plan. It was not good. It was a shit show. However, I learned a lot.
That's an amazing thing too. You have this ability to have a shit show, but you extract the learning and keep motivated. Yeah, so I'm going to keep hammering on you, Seth, because you're revealing skills that are so natural to you that we need. And my discipline, NLP, says take someone who's good at something, extract out that skill, unpack it, and teach it to others. So how did you learn that skill of staying motivated and extracting maximum learning? What would you say are the big pieces? Not how did you learn it, but what are the big pieces that make that possible? Having the shit show and extracting learning and keeping motivated.
Fail quick, fail hard, and fail. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you're comfortable to fail, then you could succeed. Failure is, to me, not failure. It's just a learning lesson. So that Long Beach show, everything possible went wrong. I mean, everything that possibly could go wrong went wrong. Here's one example. I mean, when I got there, we unloaded everything. In the middle of my show, one of the curtains that we set up was just falling, just kind of going slowly down. And I'm going, oh no, the curtain. And then as my sister was my assistant, she comes out. She's wearing a French maid costume. She comes out with an illusion. And as she's coming out with the illusion, the bird cage, it was a vanishing bird cage. She somehow triggered it and it just starts slowly going down. So it's like, it's disappearing.
Did it kill the bird?
No, but it did the illusion without me trying to do the illusion. It revealed the whole trick.
Were people laughing?
Oh, they were. I don't know. It was such a crazy shit show. I mean, one of my friends, who remains unnamed, one of my friends smoked weed in the green room. Okay. He thought this was like the coolest time to smoke weed in the green room. So here I'm doing a show, and somehow the fog machine, my sound guy didn't know how to use it. He couldn't turn it off. So the fog wafts out, and it wouldn't stop. The fog just wafts out with a scent of marijuana.
You're making this up.
No, it happened. This is true. So the scent of marijuana mixed with pure fear, I get backstage and I'm just stunned. I have stage fright. I'm literally standing there like this. And for a while, it must have been 10 minutes while everyone's just waiting for something to happen on stage. I'm back there, and my assistant, my other assistant's like, hey, you gotta get back on stage. Get back on stage. Everyone's waiting for you. And I was petrified. But we got through it. It's a good learning lesson.
No, hold on. You say it's a good learning lesson, but so many people would have said, that's it, I can't do this. How specifically, listen to the question. How specifically, what was your process for extracting the learning from that bolus, that ball of poop? What did you do to extract the learning? I
really analyze everything. So after the show, when it's quiet, after I got home, and I analyzed what went wrong. And in reality, the basic thing that went wrong was I tried to do too much and try to reinvent the wheel too much when I didn't have anything.
Listen, marketers, salespeople, reinventing the wheel too much.
Yeah. So and what I learned, a very basic thing was, here's the deal. If you got this pie and you're trying to do something new, do a sliver. Don't do the whole thing. Do maybe 5%, 10%, and try that before you don't do the 100%, you don't do 75, you don't do even 25. If you change 25% of what you're doing, man, you could end up in a failure. You could end up not even knowing what worked or what didn't work, which is even worse than a failure, right? You don't know what worked. So just do a little piece. Do one piece.
Genius, Seth. I never noted. I didn't know this about the extent of your genius, and I'm not buttering your bread, but
no.
You're matching creativity with being data-driven in your own way, to the extent that you can be data-driven with magic. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. I mean, so I do analyze a lot of the stuff, and I'm not necessarily a numbers guy, but like you said, I basically analyze in my mind, and then I look at what hard facts that I can kind of defer and go, okay, don't have a green room where your friend can smoke marijuana. That's basic, right? Don't do that. At a show that's a clean campus or whatever, it's a closed campus. And so, there's just things that you derive from it. And I learned by failing, I look at every single step that I make, I learn something. And if you can at least, go forward. Don't be scared to go forward. That's one of the biggest things that I see people. They're petrified to try something, petrified to even step forward. You know what? You don't know if you could fail. You don't know what happens if you don't try. So that was the one thing that I really learned from doing that show. I just got out there. I know a lot of magicians, they just talk about getting out there, and they maybe take some pictures with people, and
Same with salespeople. They talk about their goals and they don't do anything, or they do little bits and they're not consistent.
And so this stems back from my very early years with women, encounters with women. Actually, I would be walking around and I'd meet a girl or see a girl that I was attracted to, that I wanted to know, and I would be too shy to even say hi. And then later on, I regret. I go, oh my God, what if I could have had a friendship or a relationship or dated her? But she was gone, completely gone. So I at least want to try, and I'll fail. I'm willing to fail, but at least I got to try. I'd rather get a rejection from someone than not try.
Fantastic. Seth, I'm going to go back and watch this. This has been so packed. I like this. The wonderful, the magic, the mindset magic of a real estate magnet magician. I don't know what the title is.
There's a lot going on here.
Seth, how
Yes.
can people continue to draw value from you? What is it that you would like to tell people about how they can get in touch with you, learn about your magic, your real estate?
Well, you can connect with me on all the social platforms. I'm at Seth Grabel. Super simple. Consistency. At
How
Seth
do you spell
Grabel.
Grabel?
It's at SethGrabel. And you could connect with me. I love meeting and connecting with people. I'm really a people person and a relationship guy. So
Definitely.
reach out to me, email me, call me, whatever. I mean, a friend of my uncle's is a friend of mine. So
thank you.
yeah. I mean, I really try to give as much as I can. And
you do.
And that's
and
my,
you have.
yeah. And that's a focus of mine. I love teaching people what I know because, hey, someone taught me.
Well, you've been a fabulous guest and an amazing teacher. You've shared the magic of keeping on going when you don't know what you're doing or what exactly it is you want to do, how to be persistent, how you set that mantra in your mind. I've learned a lot, and I love that. I really love some of the things. I'm going to incorporate the whole thing of being hungry like an immigrant. What a mindset. What a mindset shift. I hope it's been for everyone watching and listening. Seth, you are effing fantastic. Thanks for being on the show. And we'll see you again on another episode of The Influencer's Edge.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Invisible Influence Series. If you're ready to massively increase your sales by leveraging the power of subconscious persuasion, then make sure you text the word compel to 411321. That's compel to 411321. And if you're outside of the United States, then use WhatsApp and text the word compel to 1-909-741-1321. Make sure you put in your best email address because that's how we'll deliver the goodies. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack in sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencer's Edge Show.